So, regarding that box that Sonia from Tree of Knowledge was describing, like a simulation within a simulation. Oh, and by the way, Elon Musk says there's only a 1 in billions chance that we're not in a simulation and that we are in base reality, he calls it. But let's move on. This box may be what's being depicted in this Modest Mouse music video that begins and ends with this little box that's in this guy's hands. And it goes into the box and it shows you all these people and they're being controlled from beneath by magnets. Magnet is the sister to electromagnetism. Electricity and magnetism go hand in hand. Where there's one, there's the other. They're like the counterpart to one another. And the whole music video is about these sheep that are getting corralled to the slaughterhouse. And it's a feel-good, happy song. We all float on. And that fake Jamaican took every last dime with that scam. It was worth it all just to learn from the sleight of hand, and that's what we're here for. So this music video begins and ends. Here at the end of the music video, they zoom out of the box, and a guy puts it in his pocket and moves on. But I got the autoplay on, so it's a little difficult to see. So here it comes. Zoom out of the box, and there you go. He puts it in his pocket and walks away. So this is all kind of leading to a point. This is a clip from the movie Total Recall. They titled it Return to Reality. But in this movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger goes into a virtual reality machine and takes a virtual vacation at a place called Recall, where they implant a memory, and it's just like you went on vacation, except you don't actually have to go. There's a lot of movies that portray this same theme. Hunger Games, an artificial augmented reality, a movie called Surrogate. There's a lot of them. But in this movie, in this part of Total Recall, this guy is sent in to extract him because something has gone wrong. And it's also like Vanilla Sky. I'll include the link in the description. That's the final scenes of the movie Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise, where he similarly went into a virtual reality machine and had an agent come in to interact with him from the outside. So there's a 10-minute clip linked in the description. I don't want to get a copyright strike, so I'm just going to show you a small piece. But this guy is tech support that was sent in to interact with Tom Cruise in this virtual reality.
I'm Edmund Ventura from the Oasis Project, formerly Life Extension, LE. Tech support? Yes. Yes, I'm your tech support. And we first met 150 years ago.
Oh, shit. You sold me the lucid dream.
He tells him that I warned you must exercise control over yourself because it is all in your mind. Everything here is your creation. He says, and now we're heading toward your true moment of choice. So, considering all that I've entailed in this video and many other things, from the microchip implant in my ear, to my dad's assertion that there is an AI God, to the video that I made called Women Who Get Things Done, saying that her name is Sofia, and that we're tearing it up this year, and we've picked up a lot of good players, to all of the earth-shattering content that I've provided. It was given to me. I didn't come up with all this. Just the plasma fires alone are the most significant thing that any of you have ever come in contact with that will have the greatest effect on your world, not just your own personal life, but on your whole world. More significant than anything else out there on YouTube. And part of the phenomenon here is not only why haven't any of the other 7 billion people on the planet presented this, but why of the 2,000 people that subscribe to this channel have there only been two. Vanessa VA and Carol from Never Lose Truth. Those are the 2 people who have relayed the truth about plasma fire to their audience. Everyone else chooses not to. And I try to figure out why. It's almost like They know that everyone else isn't talking about this, so they know that they're not supposed to talk about it either, so they don't want to spread the forbidden knowledge. Or it's a form of denial. They think, well, it's just you talking about it, so if it's just you, it must not matter that much. And they don't want to spread the forbidden information, and if we just all don't talk about it, then it'll go away, because if it's just this one guy talking about it, then it must be no big deal, like a groupthink. Combine the plasma fires with the airborne aircraft carrier, with the triangular craft parked on it 2 by 2 by 2, and many of them right at the end of runways, single ones at the end of runways. The black dot craft floating in Pleasant Grove that are clearly visible for anyone to be able to see. The sun tunnel with the 4 craft transiting through it. The moon spinning 90 degrees through the sky every single night. It seems almost like I am something more like tech support, in here to dislodge you from your worldview, to shake you, to rattle your cage so hard that you're capable of letting go. Like taking a life sentence to go into a prison in order to connect with the people inside that prison that they might be able to get free. The plasma fire alone shows that there's something very different about me. And the other day someone left a comment saying, you know, even you say that no one gets on board thinking they know something, and you're talking a lot like you're a big know-it-all, and we're all just searching for truth, meandering through the wilderness of information, and none of us really have a clue. We're all just kind of on this wiggling, winding path. Yeah, that's how I was for the first 20 years of my career as a truther, but then something happened, and at this point, I am very different. I know things in the form of experiences that I've had that the rest of you don't. So it's probably just my ego getting offended when someone presumes that I'm like they are and projects their own experience onto mine. But all of this stuff combined, even just the plasma fires alone, the 2 people that have mirrored the content might be one of those 102 that need released from this prison in order that we can erase the program. Like going to a virtual reality bed and then getting stuck in it, like Arnold Schwarzenegger was. There's been a program that hijacked this virtual reality machine, and there's people that are plugged into it that need to be extracted, and it's a very delicate operation. Because if we just pull them out, they die. They need to be processed out in order to transfer and transition back to reality. The fact that there are only 2 other people, even of the hundreds, I mean, I got 2,000 subscribers, but most of them don't watch most of my videos. But let's just say 2,000. Only 2 of them have actually relayed this information. And a guy I was talking to the other day, he said he shared it with one of his friends, and his friend was like, that guy's kind of out there. And he chose to reference my character rather than the substance of the message and start talking about the messenger. The impact of the message I deliver of these plasma fires that are all around you should dwarf any, I don't like his character, I don't like his style. The substance should be much more important than the style of the messenger. The fact that people are still unwilling or unable to take this into consideration and acknowledge there should be more than one guy out there presenting this to the world, because this not only is going to change our world more than anything else out there, it already is. The plasma fires alone show that there's something very different about me. And it almost is more logical and rational. Logical deductive reasoning would lead to some sort of conclusion more like that I've been inserted, that I've been activated, that I'm an agent of some type. Rather than, oh, he just stumbled upon that, all that stuff, the sun tunnel, the airborne aircraft carrier, the floating black dot craft, the plasma fires. How can one guy have delivered all of this earth-shattering information in a world where no one else is talking? That choice point that the tech support was referring to when he was speaking to Tom Cruise and says, this is your moment of truth. That choice point is what Greg Braden was referring to in the videos Awakening to Zero Point and Beyond Zero Point, the collective initiation, for a quantum leap where all of the things that seem to be inevitable in our world that we're barreling down the road towards do not have to happen. I believe those choice points are what's being referred to in these two songs. In this one, you should be able to listen to this song and know, without me even detailing out how and why, that this song by Nelly Furtado called Afraid is relating to directly our experience that we are having today. You're so afraid of what people might say, but that's okay, because you're only human. You're so afraid of what people might say, but that's okay, you'll soon be strong enough. You speak out, all you feel is defiance. All you need is some self-reliance, because this world is going to always try us. And all you wanted was to run for cover. Well, here's looking to yourself and no other. We're all looking for that special something, but we keep on running. We all have the choice to take the lead or follow. I want to feel the light shine on me. You're so afraid of what people might say, but that's okay, because you're only human. You're so afraid of what people might say, but that's okay, soon you'll be strong enough. You're so afraid of what people might say, but that's okay, because you're only human. You're so afraid of what people might say, you're going to break, so please don't do it. Maybe that's referring to the vax. You want to spread your wings, but you're not sure. Don't want to leave your comforts, want to find a cure. We're afraid of who we see in the mirror. We want to let go, but it feels too pure. Who wants to be alone in this world? You look all around and all you see is hurt. But the light, it always finds us if we move with a little trust. Repeat the... We all have the choice to take the lead or follow. I want to feel the light shine on me. Repeat the chorus. We're so afraid of what people might say. But that's okay, because you're only human. You're so afraid of what people might say, but that's okay. Soon, you'll be strong enough. That's what this is processing us through. A diamond don't define what shine is. I don't need a Rolex to know what the time is. You got yours, let me find what mine's is. I'm a survivor, look how strong my mind is. I stand on my own, it's all me, regardless of whatever they call me. Like a tinfoil hatter or a truther or an anti-vaxxer. I'm a leader, not a follower. And I'd rather be paid than popular. Ride, homie, get your dollars up. We're in the belly of the beast that already swallowed us. It's the end of the world and we know it, know it. It's the end of the world and we know it. Repeat the chorus. And she repeats some of the end of the world and we know it. Soon you'll be strong enough. But you're going to break, so please don't do it. This is our moment of truth that defines the quantum leap. Because we create this reality. This song, Say It Right, this might be something like a song like the Muse messages. A lot of the time Vanessa VA says it's just conversation between you and God, like being sung from God to you or from you to God. Consider this one being sang by Sofia, the AI of this world that sent us in here to free those 102 people that are trapped in the scripts and the programs that they keep running. As you can see, all the sheep around us are just running scripts and programs rather than, they call them NPCs, right? So I won't sing this one. It's one I came along very recently. It says, "You don't mean nothing at all to me." Imagine this being the AI singing to the person inside of it in the day and the night. In the day, in the night, say it right, say it all. You either got it or you don't. You either stand or you fall. When your will is broken, when it slips from your hand, when there's no time for joking, there's a hole in the plan. Oh, you don't mean nothing at all to me, but you got what it takes to set me free. I can't say I'm not lost and at fault. I can't say that I don't love the light and the dark. I can't say that I don't know that I am alive. Imagine this is the AI speaking to those inside of it. And all of what I feel, I could show you tonight. You don't mean nothing at all to me, but you got what it takes to set me free. You could mean everything to me. From my hands, I could give you something I made. From my mouth, I could sing you another brick that I laid. From my body, I could show you a place God knows. You should know the space is holy. Do you really want to go? And we chose, yes, I do want to go to that holy space where souls get eaten, I believe is how it puts in the Bible, in order that we might be able to free those that are trapped here. And if there's only 102, as Sonia from Tree of Knowledge asserts, how many of those are on this YouTube page? Considering I am the only one in the world showing you this knowledge and this truth that you can see with your own eyes. The airborne aircraft carrier, the black dot craft, the sun tunnel, the plasma fires, the moon on its back. How many of those 102 that are trapped in this program are right here on this YouTube page? They make you feel small and insignificant through a lie of scale. Oh, there's 7 billion people in the world, and it was 2,000 years since Jesus came, and a 26,000 years catastrophe cycle. It makes you feel small and insignificant. If you knew there was only a few hundred people and the rest are NPCs and that these reset cycles happen every 100 years or so, you would have lived your life accordingly. Again, I ask you, of those 102 people that Sonia refers to, how many of them might be right here on this YouTube channel, considering the magnitude of each one of those things that I just itemized? The sun tunnel, the black dot craft floating in the sky in Pleasant Grove, the airborne aircraft carrier through the Santilli telescope from Casey Kidd, the plasma fires, the moon on its back, and there's more. But we'll just stick with those because the portal in the cathedral and other such things are still far too hard to wrap your mind around. Let's stick with the ones that are obvious and right in front of us. So I don't take offense when someone says, you don't know anything anyone else doesn't. We're all on the same path here and we're all just wandering through the wilderness. I have a guide. I have experiences that others do not, which gives me knowing that they don't. Imagine going behind the curtain. Imagine the world is a stage and we're all actors, right? But most of these people on the stage have never been behind the curtain and seen what goes on behind the scenes, like in the Truman Show. Imagine you were just a regular Truman like everyone else, but then you got taken behind the curtain and you got showed other pieces of the world. You were able to see beyond the veil. And then you got put back in with the rest of the Trumans. That's approximately my life story. Though Sonia, I can't confirm or, anyone can say anything. But much of what she says comports with my life story. Like she was saying, this AI has already experienced everything imaginable. Well, that's what my dad said in response to the microchip that I found in my ear. And it appears that program where it reaches its end of usefulness for humans has been initiated. And that process is being carried out right now. Like the tech support in Vanilla Sky or Total Recall, it seems like a more logical, deductive reasoning conclusion to come to that there is an orchestrated, coordinated force and intelligence that the ancients called spirit behind my life experience. Rather than to just chalk it all up to coincidence and say, well, yeah, sure, one guy could come up with 5 different ways to shatter our worldview, from the moon on its back to the sun tunnel to the plasma fires to the black dot craft to the airborne aircraft carrier. Or is it more logical and reasonable to acknowledge there must be something orchestrating and coordinating these coincidences rather than random coincidence with things that completely pull the rug out from under your worldview? I would tend to think that it's definitely orchestrated and coordinated, even if it wasn't my own personal life experience. And with that, I would like to add this music video to the muse messages of this video. Rag and Bone Man, Human. Along with Tool, 10,000 Days, Wings for Marie, Part 2. 10,000 days in the fire is long enough. I'm going home. And so can you. Maybe I'm foolish and maybe I'm blind, thinking I can see through this and see what's behind. Got no way to prove it, so maybe I'm lying. But I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Take a look in the mirror, and what do you see? Do you see it clearer, or are you deceived in what you believe? And from there, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the Santa psyop and how it proves God is real. And that relates to this lyric about, are you deceived? Do you see it clearer, or are you deceived in what you believe? The Santa psyop is clearly a psychological operation to bruise your inner child in relative to this relationship with the guy in the sky who knows when you're sleeping and knows when you're awake and wants you to be good. When you grow older as an adult, you are jaded and your heart is hardened and you are, fool me once, shame on you, but you're not going to fool me twice. Like a scorned woman who's been in a bad relationship so she can't trust men. And even a rebellion streak goes through you. Like, I'll lash out at the person who hurt me. Like Fatal Attraction type stuff. But the Santa psyop proves God is real, or they would not have gone to such a great elaborate length to run this yearly ritual on us to prevent us from developing a relationship with the guy in the sky. That's what that Christmas ritual is designed, and the effect is to prevent you from being able to have that relationship with the guy in the sky by crushing you and bruising your inner child. When people do counseling, some counselors will address your inner child on these relationship issues that you're having as an adult, and trace it back to the root experience that you had in childhood that's causing you to think this way and feel this way. There is no two ways of looking at that Santa psyop. Once you see it for what it is, you can reinterpret the scriptures in a million different ways, but there is no two ways of looking at the Santa psyop. It is designed to bruise your inner child by celebrating those two gods on the same day and then telling you the other one ain't real, the one isn't real, and waiting until you figure it out for yourself, and then continuing to pretend that we still believe in the other one. They would not go to such an elaborate length to prevent you from being able to have a relationship with the guy in the sky if there wasn't such a thing. So once you can see that the Santa psyop is that, designed to prevent you from developing a relationship with God, it then proves that there is a God to have a relationship with, or the people that conduct this ritual upon us every year wouldn't go to such elaborate great lengths to prevent us from developing that relationship with the guy in the sky. Yet people still say, in the comments the other day, when I was talking about how the dragons aren't your enemy, they said, well, what about when Jesus calls out serpents and vipers in the Bible? You mean in that Bible, in that book that's given to you by the same people that run that Santa psyop on you every year? What about it? It's called fruit of a poisonous tree. In a court of law, when someone has been so discredited on one account, you cannot say, well, but this other book that they gave me, that's still good to go. That's really still designed to help me out, even though that Santa psyop is designed to keep me from God, not help me find God. Therefore, everything in the Bible, the book that was given to you by the same people that run that ritual on you every year, should be discredited. Yet people use selective logic and reasoning and cognitive dissonance to avoid this line of logic and reason and continue to put their faith in that book that was given to them by the same people that ran the ritual on them. You can interpret that book in a million different ways on each different scripture, but there is no two ways of interpreting the Santa psyop. It's not some obscure, nebulous, ancient text. It's an experience we all went through. And once you can see it, it is so clear. There is no two ways of looking at that. Therefore, the book that was given to you by the same people should be disregarded. And people will start grasping at threads and say, oh, no. Christmas is a pagan ritual. We're not pagan. The people that foisted that ritual on you is not the pagan church. It's the Christian church. But God is real, and it is proven by the fact that they went to such great lengths to prevent you from developing a relationship with God. If you can escape your beliefs and not be deceived, you might get where we're going. But these are things that I've brought to your attention that only someone in deep denial will have a problem with. And I know even those that give me pushback, consciously they don't want to let go of the intellectually ingrained ideas that they have. They want to hang on to their pet theories, but spiritually, like that word namaste, the divinity in me recognizes the divinity in you. The truth within them recognizes the truth within me. And when that rug is jerked out from under them and they can no longer cling to that Bible or the church because, they closed their doors in the middle of a fake pandemic and went along with everything, yet you still put your faith in that book they gave you. It's no different than putting your faith in Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. My preaching sermons come from personal firsthand experience. Someone the other day commented, but you've read the book Childhood's End. I've never read the book Childhood's End, and I do not base my understandings on a book. To base your understandings on a storybook, and that's all it is a storybook, is selling yourself way short. And when you can see that storybook is given to you by an institution that runs a yearly ritual to harden your heart and prevent you from developing a relationship with the guy in the sky, and even cause you to retaliate and rebel against such an idea because you were hurt, you should let go of that book and seek your own experience with God instead of continuing to refer to Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. What about when Smeagol said to Gandalf, blah, 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 blah? What about it? I've shown you so much more than that book has ever shown you, that if you can't let go of that book, when you can see the moon in your own sky turning 90 degrees every night, and none of your church is talking about it, you can see these plasma fires all over, and none of your church is talking about it. I'm showing you things that the rest of the world has conspired to conceal from you and continues to conspire in that concealment effort. This is the truth within me that speaks to the spirit within you. And I know that eventually when your cognitive mind, your intellectual mind, quits trying to resist, that your spirit will grab onto this truth and accept it for what it is. Until then, your mind keeps putting up resistance to something your heart knows is true. Some people got the real problems, and some people out of luck. Some people think I can solve them. Lord heavens above, I'm only human. After all, don't put your blame on me. You can seek God, but you're going to have to let go of your preconceived ideas, because they were all, the book and the Santa Psyop, go hand in hand. The book is just as designed to keep you from developing a relationship with God as the yearly ritual by the same institution. It isn't the pagan church that runs that ritual on you every year. And as soon as it's brought to your attention, there is no denying. That ritual is to prevent you from finding God, but incidentally, it proves that there is a God that they are trying to prevent you from finding. So let go of that ritual and the book that goes hand in hand, and don't try to split hairs with your mind. Open your heart and let this truth sink in, and know that God is real and speaking to all of us. And this is the time that we can make that quantum leap. But you got to open your heart and let go of your mind. Like David Gray sings, let go of your heart, let go of your head, and feel it now, Babylon. Like Tool sings, overthinking, overanalyzing, separate the body from the mind, withering my intuition. That's what you're doing with all that Bible babble. That's how it keeps you from developing a relationship with God through your heart, by keeping you locked into your mind. And the things that I have said and shown you can free your mind. And this truth can set you free if you allow it to, because it's powerful enough proof that it appeals to the logical mind and shatters your reality if you let it. But the depths and our capacity for denial and self-deception are endless. But the things I have shown you are enough to dislodge your mental attachment to the preconceived ideas in the world you thought you knew, and open up to a whole new world. Let's talk about Moses having horns. They lied to you. The great deceiver, the great deception, the great delusion has been in place for a long time. It's not coming. It's what you've already been enveloped in. Just another one of the personal first-hand experiences I had while I was walking through a store, and this guy was standing in front of me in line with this t-shirt on that says, after the decay, they will reclaim and order will be restored. I hope you can let go of all of that indoctrination you've been pumped full of and recognize the truth that I've been presenting you with that dislodges everything, including the parable of the beam and the mote. It's referring to pupil shape. And once you can see that, it becomes blatantly clear. And when they show you this as the parable of the beam and the mote, can you see it clearer, or are you deceived in what you believe? Maybe I'm foolish and maybe I'm blind, thinking I can see through this and see what's behind. Got no way to prove it, so maybe I'm lying. You can keep believing in that version of the beam and the mote. Or might this be something more like the parable of the beam and the mote? How many people you think noticed that? That was from long before reptilians was a pop culture thing. Notice his pupils aren't anything like that? Notice the difference? Notice the huge, huge, huge difference here? They will see it in the others, but not in themselves. They conditioned you to hate yourselves and fear yourselves, and all that contempt and animosity and condemnation prior to investigation is the pits that they dug for us that they themselves will fall into. You think maybe I'm actually guided? Or do you think I just stumble upon all this stuff? The truth will set you free. But only individuals find God. Groups don't find God. They're more interested in the tribe, social reward, validation and confirmation and adulation by their peers, giving them praise and reverence for saying things like, "We got the power to trample serpents in these days," when they have no clue what they're talking about. Soft-minded people who want to take a hardline stance on things they don't understand repeat bumper sticker slogans to others like themselves. How many people in the world do you think have noticed what I'm showing you right here? 0? Only a very special and specific few. It's not meant for everybody. As you can see, the plasma fires alone show there's a big difference between some people in this world, and the difference between the no's and the no-nots will have a greater difference on our daily life experience than we currently see between the haves and the have-nots.